Well, hello, everybody, and welcome. I am so excited about today's masterclass where I'm going to show you how you can profitize your purpose by having a high ticket program to streamline your business, to increase your bottom line, and to make a bigger impact. Because we know, at least with heart-centered or mission-driven entrepreneurs who are really focused on making transformations in the lives of others, that the only way we can make more money when we have a one-on-one coaching business is to work more. And so what we want to do is create a leverageable business. So that way you are using your time efficiently and be able to help a ton. I mean, your ability to help the amount of people is endless in a leverage business model. And that's what I am going to show you how to get that started. So while everybody is getting on board, while everybody's jumping in, please in the chat, put your where you're from. Now, you can't see the chat. I'm doing a webinar process is different than a regular Zoom meeting. So you can't necessarily see the chat, but I can see the chat. And I am going to be looking at that throughout this process because I want to know where everybody's at. And I'm going to be asking you questions throughout the training today too, to make sure that if you have any questions that I address them as we go. So I'm going to share my screen. Lots of stuff to share. So I don't want to stall. I want to jump right in. So this is the Profitize Your Purpose Masterclass, and I'm going to share 3 keys to launch and sell your high ticket program without complicated tech or expensive ads. You don't need to go there just to get started. So again, wherever you're from, put that in the chat because I want to see, we've got people from all over that have come to this masterclass, local people in the United States and people I know for sure. I've got a couple of questions about replays, and there are people that are either watching this live. I know there's one lady here from Australia. So hi, Kim, great to see you. And if you are watching the replay too, I would love to know where you're from. All right, so we want to, or what I want to do is show you how you can net $250,000 a year as an authority in your field, even if you're just starting out. Now, it doesn't happen overnight, but if you are just starting out, if you put the right pieces in place, you can build a business that could easily scale to that number. Or if you have been a coach for a while and you're fed up because things aren't working. All right, somebody keeps calling me. So let me go ahead and turn this off and get rid of this because we don't want to have this distraction. Yeah, so even if you're just starting out, this plan will work for you. And if you have been working your business for a while and you're just fed up because everything you tried and every program you joined didn't get you the results you want. I know firsthand from my experience, as well as what my clients have gone through, that this is a process that will definitely work and get you the success you're looking for, and more importantly, that you deserve. Again, without a bunch of complicated tech or expensive ads. So I know there are different people that are coming to this looking for different solutions and that are all coming from a different place. So in the chat, put down if you are freed up, you're just getting started and you have freed up your life to focus on building your profitable, purpose-driven business, or you're fed up, you've been doing it a while and you want to do things differently, you're fed up and you want to make it work, or fired up. So are you freed up, fed up, or fired up? And maybe you put freed up, maybe you put fed up, but I think everybody should put fired up, and I'm super fired up as well. So love to see all that. So I like having quotes. Quotes are super cool, I think. And I like the fact that they sometimes set the context. And this is a quote that I've been sharing for quite some time. Not everybody knows Marissa. I actually never met her. I've never even been in a program of hers. However, I got this quote years ago, and I just think it's brilliant because there are so many experts out there claiming to help you make money while you sleep, right? Like I'm on vacation and all of a sudden my phone is dinging and, you know, just my money is going in my bank account. which is great. That's what we want to get to. But you can't make money while you sleep unless you're able to make money while you're awake. And so that is my goal, is to make sure that you are making money while you're awake. And part of my process is to create a membership. So you will have that reoccurring revenue that will happen while you are sleeping, which is a cool thing to have. I know for me, what I've done is anytime I have a purchase, I have a specific email address that is dedicated to getting the notifications for those purchases. So it's connected with my merchant account and PayPal. I have Stripe on one of my platforms, but don't use that a lot. And so anytime money comes through, it goes to that specific email and I get a notification and a special sound when money comes in. And I don't have any other emails going to my phone. So when I get a notification for email, it is because money is coming in and it's a great sound. And I love hearing that happen. And so as an entrepreneur, it's a great, great journey. And I know for me, I'm probably not even hireable anymore. I'll be an entrepreneur forever, but it is a difficult journey. And even with new businesses, because the Bureau of Labor and Statistics say that 20% of businesses fail within the first 2 years and 65 fail within 10. Now, with my organization, the Dynamic Professional Women's Network, we made it to 5, we made it to 10, we even made it to 15. And we made it to 20, we're still around, but through the COVID experience, things kind of dwindled. And with my coaching business and my publishing company, we made it to 10, which is super cool. But not everybody's able to do that. And self-employed people make it the numbers are even worse. So I know another statistic is once you become an entrepreneur, you have no desire to go back to a job. So that's only 4% do. And I know I am definitely in that 96% that I never want to go back to a job. So we don't want to go out of business. So again, the problem of entrepreneurs are that they really focus on trying to help everybody. They want to do everything. They wear so many hats. And I know when you get started out, you have to be able to do a lot of things, but that eventually will slow you down and stop you from success. And they trust everyone. And I really want to talk about this for a moment, because in messaging, right, when you have a business and you are honing in on your messaging, it's really important to have a common enemy. And for me, one of my common enemies is the coaching industry itself. And that is why I do things completely different, because I spent so much money and so much time with coaches that offered and sold me in their program. And I said yes, because I wanted to buy my dreams. And they let me think they were going to help me get my dreams. But once I was in the program, I just became a cog in the wheel, and they weren't actually invested in my success. And so my program is completely different, because I partner with my clients to make sure that if they don't succeed, I don't succeed. So my payments are linked directly to their revenue milestones. I'll talk about that in a little bit, but I believe that that is super, super important. So logistics for today. So if you have questions, I am going to be asking questions throughout the process. So I actually put in slides so I didn't forget to ask questions. And then what I would want you to do is put them in the chat. We're not going to unmute anybody today, but just go ahead and put them in the chat and put a Q in the beginning, so I know that's a specific question. And then as I get to every stopping point, I will address the questions. And then a gift. I have a special gift at the end for everybody that sticks around through the end of the training. And even if you're watching the replay, please don't just skip to the end to get the free gift. Please watch the whole thing. But you know what? Hey, if you are watching the replay and you want to skip to the end, that's okay, because the gift is super cool and you'll definitely want to get that. So here's the agenda. And I know what I have done as I prepared this presentation is made sure that I address these specific 3 topics, and that you walk away knowing how to address every one of these points. I know I've been in so many different webinars or master classes that I signed up and I thought, oh, this is really cool. But what happened with the class or the event is it was a waste of my time. It was really about a sales pitch and didn't necessarily provide value. Unfortunately, I do the opposite. I end up by giving too much information, which we all know isn't necessarily the best way to get sales. However, it is the best way for me to serve my audience, is to make sure that they're equipped to take some sort of action. And of course, I want to work with anybody that feels that I'm a good fit for them, but I'm not about having all these sleazy sales tactics. I promise to deliver this information, and I will assure you I am going to touch on every one of these points, as well as maybe a few more. All right, so who's here is making sure that this is for you if you're the right fit. Either you are in a career, you've been successfully helping others as maybe a chiropractor, a physical therapist, maybe a holistic healer in some capacity, and you want to scale. You're tired of working one-on-one with people. Again, because your time is very valuable. Maybe you just have a really deep desire to change people's lives. You want a scalable business that gives you freedom, and you are ready to follow your purpose. Now, I started in this particular journey to help people profitize their purpose because specifically I have been helping women for, 11 years figure out their signature story and share it in a co-authored book. So I have been able to see firsthand how people's mess became their mission and they wanted to monetize it, yet they did not know how to do that. And so I'm kind of stuck here. I'm on a stability ball that keeps moving on me. Obviously, I need to be more stable so that doesn't happen. So these women have realized their mess became their mission. They wanted to monetize it, and I didn't have a way to help them. And so I did start doing one-on-one coaching, but that could be very expensive if people are not ready to jump into the one-on-one coaching space. And of course, I've broken away from one-on-one coaching as well because I value my time. And so I want to make sure as we go forward that you are here because you are looking to leverage your wisdom, monetize your mission, and do it in a way that is allowing you to help a lot of people in the least amount of time and make the biggest amount of money. So I want to welcome you. You may not know who I am. I am Christy Ruffino. I am the host of the Mastery Unleashed podcast. And I'm super excited. This is a screenshot that I took just last week, and it is my download. So my podcast has been around for about 2 years now, or almost 2 years, maybe almost 3 years. I don't know. It seems like a blur, but we've had a ton of shows, and look, there we go. So we are on episode 139. So it's 140 now, 140 episodes now. So it's been a while. But look at how many downloads, over 100,000 downloads. So I'm super excited when I got that report. I am also the creator of the Overcoming Mediocrity Project in DPWN Publishing, where we have helped, hundreds of mostly women, but a few men share their stories in a book and have become Amazon bestselling authors. So this is some of the books that we produced. We are on book number 12 of this series. I've also produced quite a few under other names for other professionals. And so this is the next book that is coming out. It is Overcoming Mediocrity, Epic Women. So if you want to share your story, reach out to me. Or if you have an audience and you'd love to have a co-authored book to feature their stories, reach out to me as well. We have a great system. We've been doing this, for almost 11 years now, way before these co-authored books became popular. So we have a series of processes and strategies to make the experience super fun for your audience, as well as get them great results. And then, as I mentioned earlier, I started Mastery Unleashed coaching to help people monetize their mission. And clients like Lindsay, who came to me because she had quite a few fascinating stories, but she did not know which was the best one to use. She was a whiz with personal branding, and she was a local photographer, but she didn't know how to move forward in a way that leveraged her time. She wanted to make more money, and she wanted to be able to leave her job, or at least transition. She loves her job. She works with horses, but she wanted to be able to transition away from that as a full-time career and do something that she felt was following her passion in business. And so what we did is we created her signature story to attract her ideal clients. We put together a compelling offer, and she did shift to a one-to-many business model. And she shared this little testimonial, how she was able to hit 6 figures in her first year. And she claims that that success was from her working with me to kind of identify her signature story and put together her leveraged business model. So that was super exciting to get those, not only to get that initial testimonial from Lindsay when she was able to accomplish her big revenue goals, but to see how she keeps growing and how her business keeps evolving, and just to see her blossom into a whole new different space, which is super cool. And then I also founded the Epic Mastery program, which is a pay-per-results mentorship program designed to ensure you launch, sell, and scale a 6-figure luxury group program in 6 to 9 months, guaranteed. I'll talk about that in a minute. And this is my client, Tracy. She is like one of my newest clients, and she came to me because she had tried so many things, and she didn't want to give up. She wanted to help people, but she was just tired of like putting these programs together and these courses together, and she felt like she was all over the place and really scattered. But what happened was we put together her signature program, and we launched her first version. Of course, there's a process to get the first version done, which is a beta, and do that in a way that will help you sell it before you build it and refine it so you can up-level it to your high-ticket program. And she launched that first version in a few months, and she made over $7,000 in sales, and we did it without any complicated strategies. And you can see her testimonial here, where she claims that working with me helped her break through from her idea into it actually taking off. And she has clients paying her thousands of dollars to be a part of her new program. And we haven't even launched it to high ticket yet. I can't wait till we put together her version 2, where she's projected to bring about 15K in for that first, minimal for that first round. So that's super cool. All right. So all of these success stories have been an accumulation of my journey. But it all stems with, you need to follow your purpose. I needed to follow my purpose. I had to quit doing things to just pay the bills and to keep busy and to just do what I wanted to do or what I thought I was supposed to. I kind of had to get out of my comfort zone a little bit, determine my purpose and follow it. And then once I did that, it became my reason for living, and everything is just falling into place, which is super cool. And I am excited to be able to show you how to do that. So that way you are not one of those people trying to push your business uphill because it's too hard, and we don't need to have a business that's hard. We want to make sure our business is easy. We want to make sure that our clients are coming to us, the correct ideal clients. We're not chasing anybody down. We're able to serve them authentically and build our business through referrals. So let me ask you, are you living your purpose? If you are, I'm super excited for you. Put that in the chat, say, hell yeah, or I'm working on it, because I really want to see how, really get a pulse from what you are, where you're at in your journey. Okay, so my journey. So just, almost 2 years ago, no, about a year and a half ago, I realized, so it was Christmas of 2021, I realized that I was not living my purpose. Yeah, I had quite a few successful businesses. And yeah, at the time I believed they were my purpose, but I got to a point where I needed to grow, but I wasn't growing. I was staying stuck because it was comfortable, right? I didn't want to push myself anymore. I knew I probably should have, but sometimes we don't make changes when we should. We make changes when we have to. And I got to a point where I knew I was going to have to make changes soon. Didn't know what they were, but I knew things couldn't keep going the way they were going in many levels. And so right before Christmas, I made the commitment to go on a business retreat in Cabo in February 2022. I didn't know what was going to be on the other side of that trip. I didn't know what was going to happen at that trip, but I just knew that I was on the verge of some sort of change, and not knowing whether I was going to stay in the business, start a new business. I didn't know what the change was going to be, but I knew that I needed to take this trip. It was calling to me. And so I said yes, I signed up. I probably at the time shouldn't have, because I couldn't afford to at the time, but I believed I could not say yes. So I said yes, I went. And what happened was I was faced with a lot of uncomfortableness. I was at an event with people that were making 6-7 figures and more. Super successful, actually, and more, I should say. Super successful people that I kind of felt intimidated. Now, it wasn't even intimidated. That wasn't the right word. I just felt that I did not belong there. I felt like I was not even a little fish with sharks. I felt like I was like a tadpole with sharks. And I felt that everything I contributed was irrelevant. I felt that the discussions were so above my head. Now, of course, they weren't. Talking to other people, they're like, they did not see my anxiousness, or they did not see me in the light that I was seeing myself. But it was a scenario that made me kind of look at things differently. And I had experiences that I have never had before. And I had some conversations with people that I probably would not have had if it wasn't for this opportunity. And on not the last night, so 2 nights before we were supposed to leave, I had a dream. And I woke up in the morning and I remembered this dream. I don't usually remember my dreams, or I remember them and they're very vague, but I remembered this dream so vividly. And what happened in this dream was that I was dead. I was in a coffin, and my family and friends were grieving over me. And it wasn't me as an old woman. It was me now. It was a vibrant Christy that had many years left to live. And everybody around my coffin was mourning me. And I was like hovering over them, watching this. And it was a dream that I woke up and felt very peaceful. But it was also a dream that I woke up and thought, okay, what does this dream mean? I wasn't afraid. I wasn't like panicking about the dream. I just realized that this dream is trying to tell me something. And I believe what it was trying to tell me was that I needed to make a change, because I always kept thinking, someday, one day, I would do this, or someday, one day, I would be here, or someday, one day, I would get going and like do something very specific. I always thought I had time, that, everything I'm doing right now is great, but my brilliance is coming, but I'll get there when I get there, right? And this dream gave me urgency. And I just realized, okay, you know what? Someday, one day may never come. I may get hit by a bus tomorrow. I need to make changes. So what did I do? I came home from that Cabo trip, called a realtor, put my house on the market. Now, granted, I've only ever lived in Illinois in the Chicago suburbs my whole life. And because I married my high school sweetheart, we had a local business. I never left this little town, this like radius, or I should say this county. And so I've only known one like region my whole life. And I've traveled, but not a ton. And so selling my house, moving away from all of my friends, all of my family, all of my contacts, all of my doctors, all of everything that I knew to go someplace completely different was a huge change. I put most of my stuff, well, no, I should say that I sold most of my possessions, put a few things in storage, packed up my little red Toyota Corolla and headed to Florida. And I'm happy to say that's where I am now. And I'm happy to say that that change instilled a bunch of other changes in my life that have brought me to an amazing place. And so a little backstory really quickly. I got on the entrepreneurial journey officially after a messy divorce right after 9/11. So my life was upside down. And then, of course, 9/11 happens. Everybody's life was upside down. And I did not have a job because I was always raising my kids, building a home, and helping my husband with his business to build a successful auto repair business with multiple shops. And so now all of a sudden I am out of a job. My resume shows that I have no job history other than Rufino's auto repair, which, doesn't really look good in the job market. But I was able to get a job in the mortgage industry through somebody from the church I started going to. That mortgage job opened my world to networking. So I launched the Dynamic Professional Women's Network. Then I launched the DPW and Angel Foundation to help other single moms get through the challenges I had to get through. And I started DPW and publishing because I shared my story around that success. And then I realized how powerful stories are, and I wanted other people to have the opportunity to share their stories too. So from the outside, it looked like everything was super successful, but the inside I was a mess. I had accumulated a lot of debt. I felt like I was spinning in circles. I felt like I had a bigger calling. Things just weren't aligning. Everything seemed so hard. I had some successes, but it wasn't like the universe was necessarily all in alignment with me. I always felt like I was 3 feet from gold, super close, but not quite there. And I kept thinking, oh, I'm almost there. But as every month and every year went by, me always thinking I'm almost there, I had to really take a look at myself and think, well, gosh, I can't always be almost there. Things aren't right. I need to make a change. And so my big why. And so I want to know your big why. So my big why is I needed to create urgency in my life, make a change, not so much for me, but for my family. I wanted to leave a better legacy for my daughter and grandchildren. I grew up with a single struggling mom. My daughter and son grew up with a single struggling mom. And there's nothing wrong with being single, but struggling isn't necessary. And I don't want my grandchildren to grow up having the same mentality that I had by being around the struggle all of the time. I was comfortable with the struggle. Man, I don't think you know anybody better than me that can manage and juggle debt. Like juggling debt, I became a master at. I was many times in my life was able to take money from one account to put it in the other account. And while it's crossing over, it looked like I had money so I could pay a bill, but then it was just crazy the things I was doing, juggling debt. But I did it, and I was able to keep my house, and I didn't have any major credit issues. It was just a constant battle, and I don't want my grandchildren to go through that. So I want to know what your why is. Put your why in the chat. And, whether it's your family, whether it's you, yourself, I don't know what that looks like. Maybe it is the fact that you got over some sort of major illness and you want to help people now. I don't know what your why is, but I'd love to be able to see in the chat what your why is. Awesome, Jill. That's pretty cool. I love that. And Diane, thank you. Thanks for sharing your whys. All right. This is my wife. This is my granddaughter. This is my messy desk at my house. Look at all of the stuff everywhere. Obviously, I didn't clean it up for the shot, but she was sitting at my computer, thought she was going to be like Gam Gam. And I just love this. I love that picture. So I went on a mission. I knew I wanted to make changes. I knew I had a lot of things to figure out. These are all the things I learned throughout my years and as an entrepreneur. But I also knew that even though I mastered some of these skills, even though I learned a lot of things on my journey, heck, 20 years as an entrepreneur, 20 years managing membership and people and coaching and publishing and all of these things, like I learned a lot. But I also knew enough to know that if I was struggling and if I was constantly beating my head up against the wall and I constantly felt like I was always 3 feet from gold, that I couldn't figure out what was next on my own, because the level of thinking that got me there wasn't going to get me to the level of thinking that I needed to get where I wanted to go. So Einstein has a quote on that, and so does this Marshall Goldsmith. So over the years, I've read more than, I don't even know where I got 108, probably way more than that, of books. And I have worked with some of the industry's most brilliant people, spending over $128,000 on personal development. And that is not a number that I just like pulled out of the air. I went into my QuickBooks and I did a report on all of my educational seminars and trainings and coaching that I paid for over the years. It was over $128,000. And so, which sounds kind of crazy, but if you break it down into how much per year over 20 years, all right, it makes a little bit more sense. I didn't do this all in 1 year, but I knew I needed to have people help me with what I needed to get done, because I wanted to follow my dreams. I wanted to have a purpose-driven business. I wanted to have a business that was leveraging my time, because up until that point, I wasn't. And I wanted to grow through partnerships. And I knew it was possible because years earlier, I was invited to a Lisa Sasevich event, and I believe it was Las Vegas, I think, or maybe it was Florida. I don't know. It was a long time ago. It was 2012, I believe. 2012, 2013, I think, because it was the year that I got shingles. And so I went to this event, and her offer, Lisa's core offer, was a $100,000 offer to be in her Quantum Leap Mastermind. Can you believe it? $100,000. And when she, did her whole spiel leading up to the offer and she set her price, I'm just like, well, you've got to be kidding, lady. It was so far out of the realm of possibility for me to have people pay $100,000 to work with her for a year in this mastermind. I'm like, all right, this is silly. But people bought it. People were lining up to get this program from her. And of course, I said yes to get the folder because I wanted to research. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, I wanted to kind of creep out and see what she was doing, or creep on her to see what she was doing and how she was structuring this package. So I actually have the folder. I mean, that's a scanned picture of the folder. I have all of the stuff on the inside, and I use that as a motivator for me. I don't have a $100,000 offer yet. My high ticket is $25,000, but I plan to have a $100,000 offer soon, and so should you. And thinking about this, hopefully it expands your mindset. And so what I found on that journey is, instead of buying and getting my dreams, I worked with coaches that wanted to get my sale, but didn't necessarily want me. Well, they wanted me to be successful, but they didn't want to take any effort to make that happen. Once I paid, I just became a part of their system. And I believe that is a huge discrepancy in the coaching industry, because if they're committed to helping us, I believe they should be a little more committed than they are. But I knew that up front, like I knew what I was buying, and I want to have my program be different. And I want my clients to know what they're buying when they work with me, and know that I'm a partner with them on their journey, that their payments are linked to their success in achieving their revenue milestones. So I knew I needed to find a new coach, not that kind of a coach, not either one of those kind of a coaches, but a coach that would be more in alignment with me, my values, and what I wanted to accomplish. So a couple things I found on that journey was mindset was important, right? I had to be pushed to a different mindset to be able to be comfortable selling high ticket. I also needed to have a different skill set because the skill set I had acquired, although it's great and it's super important and I use all of them, I needed a different skill set to be able to put together a high ticket program and sell it. And I wanted to make sure that my values were a part of my program, which is why I have a pay per results program, because I believe integrity is more important than profits. So up until that point, I had had two offers. I had a membership offer for my network, and they were paying $300 a year. So think about that. $300 a year is not a lot of money to support myself, unless I had, hundreds of people in the membership. At one point I did, but I got into the point where as my membership kept growing, my expenses kept growing, and I was never able to kind of get to that tipping point. I also had with the publishing company, $2,000 a project was like the average. But we all know many people that want to write a book, and you may be somebody that wants to write a book too, but you haven't done it yet. And so I found in the publishing world that it was never a priority. It was always like a desire for people. So closing the sale was sometimes difficult. And so I love now that I help people make money because that is a priority, and my sales have increased and my results have increased. And I feel super aligned because I see people get results and it makes me super happy. And so instead of having that model, now this is the model I followed to be able to have this recurring revenue, and the model that I'm going to teach you. So you launch with a beta program, you create your high ticket, you launch that. Now you have a low ticket offer because you can design your high ticket and low ticket at the same time that is really basically on the same client journey. And you can have a membership model that helps you create that revenue, that passive revenue. So that's what I've done. Unfortunately, I did it the hard way. A lot of these things I had in place, but my new coach helped me make some adjustments. And what I want to do is make sure you don't have to do it the hard way. I want you to have the Cliff Notes, which is the easy way, and what I'm going to be sharing with you the rest of this program. So my program is Epic Mastery. It is a guaranteed pay per results program that once our clients join and commit to doing the work, they only pay additional payments as the revenue milestones are achieved. In essence, we become partners where I'm invested in their success. They are the pilot, I am the co-pilot, and my team is there to help them as well. Our goal is to help them get to 6 figures in 6 to 9 months and scale to $250,000. So you can see at the very bottom, there's like a little breakdown of the milestones. Again, they pay to get in, and then they don't pay anything until I help them get to their first revenue milestone, which is $25,000. And then when they get to the next milestone at $50,000, they make another payment, and then $100,000, and then $250,000. If they don't advance to those milestones, they don't pay me anything else. And even if they get to 11 months, and then they get to 12 months, and they've made their first 100,000, and then they got to 200,000, but they didn't get to 250. They don't pay me that last amount. This is an honor system. But as long as they do the work, I will walk them step by step through the process to launch, sell, and scale their high ticket so it can continue to grow through your automations and the support of partners to get to that $250,000 business. So what are we going to talk about today? That was setting everything up. Now we're going to talk about the 3 keys to launch and sell your high ticket program without complicated tech or expensive ads. So the first one is how to design a profitable high ticket group program. And how do we do that? So this is the traditional value ladder where you have your lead magnet, which is free or low cost. Then you have courses. Then you have coaching programs. Then you have your high ticket. Now, the problem with this model is it really costs the same amount of time and money to sell a $97 course as it does to sell a $10,000 course. So think about how much effort and how much work would go into selling 10 $100 courses, right? It's a lot of work. It's a lot of time to be able to not only create that course, but enroll people in it. And I know for me, I've created, I don't know, 20 courses, right? Some of them I had 1 or 2 sales. Some of them I had a few. Some of them I had never had any sales because I didn't promote it well. I just created it. Like, I'm a creator. And that is the fastest path to have your business go out of business. And so the better model, instead of this typical ascension model, is to have more of a descension model. And this is kind of like my hybrid process, where we launch the beta program, then we turn it into a high ticket. Then from that, we figure out how we can have our low ticket offer and high ticket, which is basically the same training, but a little piece of it. So that way, if people buy the low ticket, now it's setting them up to upgrade into the high ticket. Like, we want to have our whole structure be super purposeful, and then create a membership. So then you've got that recurring revenue that you could sell either individually, or it's a part of your high ticket, where anybody in your high ticket program gets access to that membership, but it's teaching something different that's really more targeted. And this is a really great thing to have when you have a business that can help a lot of people with different things. So say you are a wellness provider, and your specific modality can help people with diabetes, right? You can also maybe help people with high blood pressure. Obviously, this is not my area of expertise, but you can have little mini trainings for each one of those that could be a membership in its own. However, the training in those memberships can be a part of your high ticket. So when you're selling your high ticket, you're going to have your methodology that is going to be very targeted to your ideal client, but then you can kind of have these mini trainings that are a part of that. So anybody in your high ticket can also get access to that. Again, this is very general, and we have to be super strategic. And that is like that's where I shine, is with strategy. But this is what I do to help people create their a more profitable business model, where they end up by having their high ticket program, low ticket program membership, and then they have a prospect conversion machine in place to keep it filling, right? To keep that all happening, so you constantly have people entering into your programs. All right, so as we're talking about this, how can you do this? So the first thing you have to keep in mind is people don't want to buy process. And that is, I think, one of the key things when I talk to almost every entrepreneur and we talk about what they're doing, they just go in the weeds about the process. People don't want to buy process. They only want their problems to be gone. Think about this. Somebody wants to lose weight. They don't want to learn the steps that they need to take to lose weight. Like, yeah, once they're in the program, they need to know the steps. But for them to buy, you don't want to tell them that, yes, 5 days a week, they have to get on a treadmill for 20 minutes. That is going to get them to say a fast. No. But what you want to talk about is how getting through your program is going to help them fit in their skinny jeans. That is what you want to talk about. So keep that in mind with everything you're doing with your program. Is talk about the solution, not the process. What is their 3 a.m. problem? And this is another piece. Like, if you can help them accomplish a lot of things, it's not about that so much, is pinpointing what is their 3 a.m. problem that they are desperate to get help with. If they're not desperate, if they're not ready, even if they are ready, it sometimes takes it's sometimes hard for people to change. Change or Die is a book that is brilliant, where he did studies on people that were told they were going to die if they didn't change, and they didn't change anyways. It was a pending heart attack. They still didn't change. So change in human nature is hard in itself, And so you want to make sure, if you're going to get yeses, that you are connecting with the people that are desperate for change. Otherwise, if people are, oh, yeah, I'd like to change, but they're not desperate for it, they're not up at 3 a.m. in the morning worried about the problem that they're facing, they're not going to say yes. And so you want to be very specific in the problem and when they're ready to say yes to change. Number 2, you have to have people that are going to buy from you. So there are different camps of people that you can serve. And if you're talking about your problem, there are 4 main problems that people typically can help with. And one of them is how to make money, how to save money, how to have a better life, and how to have better relationships. So whatever you're doing to help people with transformations will fit into one of these 4 buckets. There's actually another one, how to stay out of jail, but that's typically not what entrepreneurs do. So with your business, which camp do you fall in? Do you fall in the make money, save money, better life, or better relationships? You have to make sure whatever one you pick, people are willing to pay for it. So when you look at these 4 different buckets, having a better life, having better health, people want that. But what I help people do with their program is design their program so it's more than them just wanting it. So it's positioning the program so they're willing to pay for it. Like, how is that program going to help them make more money? How is it going to help them have a better life that is tangible to some sort of a dollar amount? And what is it costing them by not changing? So that's a key piece in when we position your program, is to make sure we tap into the desire and the willingness to pay. So number 3, people don't want risk. So you have to guarantee the result. Now these are a couple different guarantees that you can embed into your program. First, you have an unconditional guarantee, which no matter what, hey, within 3 days, 30 days, whatever it is, you can give an unconditional guarantee. Now, you don't want to do this for high ticket, of course, but for lower ticket programs, you could do that. But for higher tickets, you want to have some sort of a conditional guarantee. So that way, if they do the work, if they show up, and if they go through the processes that you create for them, then if they don't get the results, there's some sort of assurance on their end that you are guaranteeing their success. So you could have a service guarantee, you could have a delayed payment guarantee, you could have a revenue share guarantee. Like, these are the different guarantees. Now, I love having a paper results guarantee. That I believe is it's a risk reversal. It basically gives the buyer no risk, because they know if they're not getting their results, if they're not getting the dreams that they've paid for, then they don't have to continue paying. So when I help my clients design their program, it's really important that we have the right guarantee, because not every offer can have a paper results guarantee. Not every offer can have a revenue share guarantee. So we want to make sure that we pick the right guarantee that is going to be in alignment with your program and your offer. 4th, they don't want to have the hard way. So we want to show them the fast path, the easy way. And with businesses, as an example, businesses typically go forward and take actions that are all over the place, right? They're doing marketing that has Swiss cheese. Like, there's all these different holes in what they're doing. They're not necessarily, they may be doing everything, but they're not necessarily doing the right things in the right order. And so what I help my clients do is put their program together so it is very easy for people to see how to go through the process. We want to basically create order from chaos. We want to make sure that them saying yes is like the only hard part of the process. Once they say yes, everything else becomes super easy. So I will help you design your 5 stages, put your steps into the stages, put together your finish lines and prizes, and link rewards to the results. This is really important, making sure that every stage of the process, once they get that outcome, that there's some sort of a reward. And this is like an example of my program and the step-by-step process in the how everything is fit into 5 stages. And actually here it will show the reward. So you can see at every revenue milestone how there is another payment due. So perfect. There we go. So number 5, they want to scale. So a key piece to having a business that is successful is to make sure you build it in a way that is scalable. Now, scalable doesn't necessarily mean do more work. Scalable means get more clients, get more results with less work. If you're not moving forward in a way that frees up your time, that's not scalable. So what we want to do is work less and make more, and make sure our model is alignment with that. And so a couple factors that you want to have in a scalable business is to make sure you have virtual training, group coaching, masterminds. You could possibly have done for you services, or better yet, have partnerships in place for done for you services, and have live events. All right, so if you have any questions at this point, put them into the chat and we'll go ahead and address them. So far, I don't see any questions, but go ahead as we continue. If you have any questions, please make sure you put them into the chat. All right, so Epic Master, I'm going to give you a little rundown of the program, and then we're going to get into the second and third key. So Epic Mastery is a 12-month program that will help catapult your business into the 6-figure club and beyond, guaranteed. So the first stage of the program is we're going to help you structure your high ticket program that guarantees results. The second step is we're going to help you launch and sell your program as a beta, so you can get the money flowing and so you can test and tweak and be ready for the third stage, which is to up level your program into a luxury high ticket program that is bringing in $10,000 per sale, at least get to that point. And there's a lot of ways to do that. So you may think that you cannot structure your program to be high ticket. And I will tell you, you can. There are ways to do it. Maybe we can add a retreat in there. Maybe we can add some sort of an experiential event that may cost you something. But when they're paying $10,000 for a program and you're putting out $1,000 for them to get this experiential event or resources or tools or whatever that may look like. I know I have one of my clients, she has a program that part of the process is everybody gets one of these aura rings, which is, I love mine. It's a cool little ring that helps you monitor your activities, your inactivities, your sleep, your everything. So it's really cool. Blood pressure, all that. So don't worry, we can get your program to be high ticket. And then when we get to the fourth stage, that's when we help you build your prospect conversion machine to keep the clients coming and converting. And fifth, we'll help you scale from 100,000 up to $250,000. And the last stage is the most fun part. This is really when we start putting all of the pieces in place. This is when you start enjoying your business, because now you've got partners in place. Now you have all of these automations in place. You're not spending your time on your business anymore, right? You're not spending your time in your business. You're spending your time on your business. You're teaching, you're training, you're showing up to serve your clients. But the rest of the stuff, you're either outsourcing or you have partners brought in to do the pieces that make sense. All right, so imagine having the clarity and peace of mind, knowing you're finally on the right track. Wow, wouldn't it be great to be in a position where you're generating revenue by selling your first program in just a few weeks? And having a high ticket, high margin program that lights you up. And you'll be at a place where your clients will become raving fans. They'll refer more people to you. There'll be advocates out there. They'll be out there sharing your events, sharing your programs, and you're going to reward them because you're going to have an affiliate program in place. So you'll have partners from I don't want to say coworkers, but you're going to have people out there that are your JV partners that may not be clients, but they're people that are aligned with your offer, that have similar offers, and you support each other. But you're also going to have your clients that are going to become affiliate partners, where they love the results, they want to share it, and now you can pay them. So that's really fun. And think how great it's going to be when you're going to have a step-by-step proven process to ensure you don't waste time on strategies that just don't work. And you have a lead generation piece in place to ensure you can spend your time serving your clients instead of chasing down new ones. And you have ongoing coaching and mastermind to ensure you get support along the way, because not every program journey is the same. So I have 2 clients that have the same similar avatar, but their programs are completely different. And so that's my job, to make sure that we design the right program for you. And I am here to support you along the way to help you make those pivots that are going to get you the best results. Because I know for me, I cannot have a coach. I know strategies, but I can't use my strategies on my own business because I can't see my business from the outside in. And so it's always important to have somebody from the outside helping you to make sure everything you're doing is in alignment from the perspective of your client, as opposed to from your own interior perspective. So with Epic Mastery, there are 5 stages. Stage 1 is dominate your niche. And at the completion of stage 1, you'll have your brand defined, your message is clear, and your ideal clients will know that you are the best person to help them achieve their ideal goals. Stage 2 is when we monetize your methodology. We help you put together your step-by-step process, put it into stages, make sure that your client's journey is like in alignment with what they want, and you'll be on your way to having your 6-figure business. And when you launch your beta, I've had clients that have brought in 10 grand from launching their beta. So I shared Tracy earlier that got to a little over 7,000 from launching her beta. 2 more clients would have pushed her to 10 grand. So definitely we can help you make that happen. Stage 3 is enhance and sell the Lux way. And I'm all about creating your luxury high ticket program. And so we take what worked with your beta, we modify it, we add in some bells and whistles, we upgrade it, we sell it. I actually help you sell your beta program, because when you're to this point, your prize at the end of stage 2 is for me to help you sell your program through my email database. And so you'll be at a place where the money's going to be rolling in, and you're going to just feel the weight off of your shoulders. Stage 4 is when we build the prospect conversion machine. Now, we do stage 3 and 4 at the same time, little pieces that we do simultaneously, because when you get to the point where your luxury the first cohort of your high ticket program is launched and running, we want to have a process in place to keep clients coming in. And because your program is, it's not evergreen, it's hybrid, that it will allow you to enroll clients no matter when you cross their path, and making sure that your program is exclusive. So not everybody is the right fit. You want to get to the point where you have people on waiting lists, so that way you can get them enrolled. They get plugged into the process, they pay you, and then there are resources they start working on right away, but then they're basically in a holding pattern while they work until the next cohort begins. So there's a way to do the hybrid program that will always get people plugged in right away, so you don't lose a sale, get them wins, and then get them into the process to make your fulfillment easy. And stage 5 is the no fail to scale formula, where, like I mentioned earlier, we go from 6 figures up to $250,000 through joint venture partnerships, through automations, through outsourcing. And honestly, you'll be getting your signature talk together in this phase as well, because it's really about getting your message out there to more people and being able to funnel that massive traffic into your prospect conversion machine that will convert them into clients in an automated way. And I bring somebody in to teach speaking, because that is not my gift. So there you go. If you have any questions, go ahead and put that in the chat. Let me look really quick. Yeah. Okay. So Patty, so we have, I like design. So Patty's program is how many people will fit into each program. And so really depending on the program, sometimes it's important to limit your enrollment per cohort to 10 people or so, like 8 to 12 people. You don't want to have a high ticket program with 30 people in there. Now, depending on the program, it could work, but you want to really look at your process, how we've designed you supporting the people in that process. What are your accountability pieces? How is your training set up? And all that. And so you don't want to ever limit your support. And so you may say, okay, my cohort, for it to work well, I need to limit it to 10 people, which is fine. That doesn't mean you can't have another cohort. And that doesn't mean you have to have all these times on your calendar where you're serving all these different groups. There are ways to do your program so that way it still leverages your time. So how I structured my program, this is just an example. I have my academy, which is my low ticket offer. That is on a Tuesday afternoon. I have my luxury program, which is in a Tuesday, late morning, midday. So that is the majority of my training, where I'm really spending a lot of time with my high ticket clients. And I have people in cohorts, but they move to the different cohort based on where they're at in the process. And so all of the new people aren't starting at different times. I basically have the new people from stage 1 to 3 on Tuesdays, and stage 4 and 5, when they're at 6 figures and above, they're on Thursdays. At least that's right now my schedule. And so my Tuesday day is fuller because I have a lot of people ramping up to 6 figures on the Thursday day. But then that way, the Thursday is more of a mastermind. It's people that are working through the same problems that the people on Tuesdays wouldn't necessarily understand. Now, they're going to learn a lot from it, but they're not quite there yet. So I would rather have them be in those training modules with similar people when they're there. So that's just one example, but that's just kind of how I structured my business, my program. So it is expansive. It could fill as many people. Like I could have 40 people on my Tuesday calls, which is totally fine. But that's just how I have mine structured. Not everybody's is the same. All right. So how about anybody else? Okay, that's the only question I see. So let me continue. So key 2, how to seamlessly shift from one-on-one to group coaching. Let me take a look at the time. All right, we've got 30 minutes. Perfect, right on track. How to seamlessly shift from one-on-one to group coaching. First of all, you have to know your big mission is so important, because if you're not following your purpose, if you're not going in the right path, again, someday, one day men never come. And you know what? Get things moving in the right way, all in alignment with your purpose. And then the universe is going to just make everything happen. I like to say it is when you're following your purpose, the right people, resources, and opportunities will come to you at the right time because the reason is right. So once you are following your big mission, you will become unstoppable. Number 2 is feed the starving crowd. These are hot dogs. The picture doesn't look very good, actually. I need to change that picture because it almost looks like a hot dog pizza. But there is a story about Portillo's. Portillo's is a little hot dog joint that started in the Chicagoland area. And the thing about Portillo's, it started as a little teeny hot dog stand in, I think it was Lombard or Elmhurst. Now it's this massive international chain, or at least national. I'm here in Florida, and in Naples, there is a waterway that I've gone to on a boat, and it allows us to see all of these like uber rich people in these crazy mega mansions with all these boats. And the biggest boat on this waterway in Naples is Dick Portillo's huge boat. I think it's called Top Dog. And so the reason why I like to share this story is because hot dogs, who likes hot dogs, right? Some people like hot dogs. We may not want to eat hot dogs because we know they're not good for us, but I don't know, like tasting a good hot dog with a nice warm gooey bun and either ketchup. I don't know if you're in the ketchup camp or the relish and mustard camp, whatever that may be. I just love just plain old ketchup on a hot dog. But whatever it may be, hot dogs are not usually the meal that people will have for their last dinner, right? They're just a hot dog. However, if you put a hot dog stand in the desert where there's no food and water and people are starving, you're going to have people want these hot dogs. Then if you put the same hot dog stand on Times Square where there's a bunch of amazing restaurants, or downtown Chicago where there's the best pizza place in the joint, right? Like you put a hot dog stand in front of Uno's Pizza or Lou Malnati's Pizza, nobody's going to eat the hot dog. First of all, they're stuffed because they just ate a Lou Malnati's pizza. You want to put that hot dog stand where people are starving. And so that's where it's important for you, is to make sure you have the right offer at the right time in the right market where your people are starving, or more importantly, where they're up at 3 a.m. with their problem and they're desperate to say yes to somebody that has their solution. Number 3, it's all about mindset. You need to make sure you're comfortable with high ticket. And that was honestly one of my challenges. I had the skill set, but I didn't necessarily have the mindset that was in alignment. I thought, oh gosh, I can't charge, like to get in. My high ticket's 25,000, but it's only 5,000 to get in. Well, actually it's 2,500 to get in, and then the extra 2,500 in 30 days, where hopefully you get your program sold by then. So, but that was a hard thing for me to say. All right, it's $5,000 to get into my program. I've charged $5,000 for sponsorships. I've charged $5,000 for private coaching, but to have that be like my main offer to go up to $25,000, that was a little bit of an adjustment for me. It's not anymore. Like if you don't have $5,000 to invest in your business, and it's because you don't believe you can make $5,000 up in 30 days by getting clients. I mean, it's all about mindset. So if I give you the right tools and resources and your mindset is not in alignment, you're not going to make it happen. So mindset always trumps skill set, and it's going to hold you back if you don't have that in place. Number 4 is you have to make sure your program passes the $10,000 test. That is the key. If you can't build your program, at least envision what your program is going to look like, that people are going to say yes to paying $10,000 for, you're not going to have the right program. So we need to make sure that we tweak it and we add the right things. So people are going to be like, heck yes, I want to be in that program, because they're going to recognize the value and they're going to recognize what it's going to cost them by going along and not getting the help from you. So you want to envision your grandest result and experience. This is another key piece. People love to have the experience that goes along with the result. And so making sure that you have the result and the experience connected so that people will say yes and realize that you are the hope for their better future. And number 5, you need to map out your methodology. Now, this is, well, good, you can't read it anyways, because this is not an actual methodology map. But you want to mind map it. You want to brainstorm it. I have a Post-it note process where you put everything together old school on Post-it notes, put it into different buckets. That's how I did it and taught for my my book creation course. But now I also have a spreadsheet that I use for my mapping out my methodology. But either way, whatever you do, you have to make sure that you create a process that can be duplicatable. People can get plugged in no matter where they're at in their journey. They find the right step for them. They go through the steps to go from point A to point Z, or point C to point Z, or point F to point Z, whatever it looks like. You need to make sure you have a step-by-step process that will allow you to scale. I mean, the bottom line is you want to build your business so that you have the processes, the training, the systems in place so you could sell your business. You may not ever sell it, but if you start building it now, so that way you can sell it or turn it over to somebody else and it continues on without you, that is the best way for you to scale. All right, so questions. I'm not going to stop for questions because it looks like I'm running out of time. So point 3 is our epic rapid enrollment technique. And this is a key piece to this, because yes, now you've got your program and vision, you know your mission, you map out your methodology, you get your beta ready, you launch it, and you don't know how to get people in it. And so we have a great process to help you enroll your first group of students into your program. And there we go. First step of that is to create a validation process, because if you just launch your program without doing any market research, you have a high probability of your program not landing and getting no sales. And so there is a way for you to do the market research, validate your program before you build it. You have a concept, you have an outline, and you go through this process to refine, create interest, and then eventually sell your program. So create your validation process. In that validation process, you need to have scripts and questions. So scripts on how to get people onto a call with you. You need to have scripts when they are on the call with you, how to walk them through the process to get the right questions answered. And you need to have the right questions in place to get the answers that you need to help you refine and get interest around your program. And so you want to have all of these scripts in place, and you want to make sure you have questions and confirmations in place when people sign up for a call. Like, you want to have all of these these pieces in place so you can go out and start getting these validation calls booked. You want to make sure that you have your program defined into stages. You don't necessarily need to have the whole map laid out, but you want to have the stages defined, and you want to make sure that you have a clear result. So when they complete each one of the stages, you want to know the result of that process, and you want to have a milestone prize. Number 4, you want to prepare your calendar tool. That's super important. You don't want to be bouncing around. When are you free? No, when are you free? And then by the time you coordinate, then the schedule's full, and then they've got to coordinate another time. No, it's so easy now to create a Calendly link or a Acuity link to make the scheduling super easy. And then they get reminders, so they show up, which is important too. And you want to make sure that you have your reach outs and calls in place, and you hold them. You want to have your questions ready to ask them. You want to be efficient in your time. If you're scheduling a 20-minute validation call, you want to make sure you start on time and end on time. And you want to make sure you document every response accurately. So when I do validation calls, when I did them to launch my program early last year, I took notes when I was talking to them, because I'm a note taker. I don't like typing when people are talking. So I took notes, and then I took all of that data, put it on my contact record for them in my CRM. And then I added that into a spreadsheet. So I took my notes and then I just pasted it into a spreadsheet. So then I had the notes from everybody in one place. And so then when I was done, I had my validation spreadsheet with the names of everybody I talked to, and below it, their comments. And what I found was commonality in the words, commonality in what they were looking for, commonality in the answers. And that helped me know exactly what my ideal clients wanted. So I was able to speak to them in their language. So it's important to make sure you have all of these things in place when you do your validation calls. So let me ask you, what are you waiting for? Do you want to work less and earn more? Do you want to ditch your pain in the bleep clients and only work with people who are committed to getting results? And do you want a clear path of execution, and so you can stop being overwhelmed with the multitude of options out there? So I would love for you to be like my client, Mary Lou. She is on a mission to help people with their digestive issues. She, before she started working with me, was working with random teenage athletes through friends from her kids. And she loved that. Like, she is so passionate about helping people not be stuck with digestion issues, right? Being able to go anywhere at any time and not having to know where there's a bathroom, which I don't have that problem. But after I talked to her, there's a lot of people that are always worried about where is a bathroom. If I need it, where is a bathroom? It's almost like when you have food poisoning, you don't know when all of a sudden you're going to have a problem. But there are people that live like that every day. And so she has been super passionate about helping people with that problem. She is a registered doctor. Like, she knows her stuff, but she wasn't necessarily helping the right group of people. And she was feeling very scattered, and she knew that she could make a bigger impact. And so she wanted to help more people, and we designed her signature program, and she was able to launch her first version just by doing like reach outs to her warm audience. She didn't even do the validation process. She is doing it now. But when we got her program going, I didn't necessarily have the validation process ironed out. So she just organically launched her program, and she brought in over a little over almost $4,000 in sales without complicated strategies. So I love that to be you. So if you learned anything, raise your hand. I can't see everybody right now. Just raise your hand because I'll feel your vibes. Because I know that is my key. I want to make sure that you learn something that you could apply, even if you don't work with me. I'm hoping that what you learn and what I'm going to still provide in some free resources are going to be helpful to you. And I want to make sure that you can see how this would really make a difference in your business and a difference in your life and a difference in the lives of your clients, right? If you're able to help more people in a way that's not sucking up all your time, in a way that's super efficient, wouldn't that be great for you? Wouldn't it be great for your business? Wouldn't it be great for your clients? So do you see all the possible mistakes you can make? Because I only went through some of the steps in my stage 1 and stage 2. There are a ton of steps I didn't cover. And we didn't even get to stage 3, 4, or 5. I just went through some of the key stages, the key teaching points in my first couple stages. But there are so many things that could be done wrong that wouldn't allow you to get the fast results. And wouldn't it be great to follow a proven process? Yeah, that's the key. So I know when I go on vacations, I like to stuff a lot of information in a little suitcase. And I know I like to stuff a lot of teaching in a little training. And I know there's probably a ton of questions that you have, and I know there's a ton of things that I wasn't able to share. And so I want to give you a little bit more information about Epic Mastery. What you're going to get in the program is my 36 module DIY course. Now it's 36 modules so far. It's going to probably always change. And this doesn't even include the experts I bring in to teach on topics like mindset, like email marketing, like, oh gosh, like your signature talk, like webinars. I've got a lot of experts that I bring in that are doing things that I don't know how to do as well as they do. It's going to include 12 months of weekly group coaching. Now, these values, it's always subjective, right? So take the values. I'm not even going to add the values up at the end and insult your intelligence. It's definitely important to have some sort of a value. But what you're going to also get are quarterly one-on-one targeted strategy sessions with me. We have a Facebook group for support, and you will have your own accountability buddy. You'll have access to my free Big Mission Discovery course. I will help you solidify your 5 stages, and I have a process to do that as well as templates. So you won't have to figure it out on your own. I've got templates to help you put your stages together. I have a program roadmap template. So the template I created, or the roadmap I created it in Canva, and I share that template with you. So you can I created it from scratch, and you can take that roadmap and use the roadmap and then swap out the stages and swap out the steps and put your steps in there. So you can just do a plug and play process for yours once you get yours all mapped out. I have the validation script. So you don't have to figure out how to go out and do your validation calls. You just take mine, make a few modifications around your business, and then go and fly. And I have a mind map template to help you map out your methodology. You don't have to do the Post-it note system. I've got a great process to map that out that will help you become your program. And I have a revenue tracking template. And I have an expert that teaches that. So you will be able to get started with your revenue tracking. So you make sure that you're progressing, right? We can't grow if we don't know what we're growing to and we don't follow our growth. All right. So you also will have access to my joint venture partnership course, VAs Made Easy, SOPs, and these are the milestone prizes. So in every stage of my 5-stage process, you will have these various pieces that will help you along the way, a 6-figure roadmap designed specifically for you. You'll be able to be a featured influencer every week in my big Facebook group. We will email our list to launch your program. you will be on my podcast and get our podcast visibility package, and you'll get a VIP ticket for our Recharge for More retreat. So total value, again, I'm not going to insult your intelligence by adding up a bunch of random numbers that I say, but you can see that there's a lot that's included that will hopefully help you through every specific hurdle along the way in the program. And if I don't have it, I will create it. But more importantly, the value is the revenue that you're going to be able to create with your program. If you can get to $250,000, would you easily pay me $25,000 to get there? Especially knowing that you don't pay it up front. You just pay a small amount, $5,000 to get started. And then you only make additional payments as you meet the revenue milestones. So they're down there broken up if you want to see them, but it is designed in a way that is going to help you succeed. Again, to get started today, there's only a 5% investment. So instead of paying $5,000 of the $25,000, you only pay $2,500 to get started, and then the next $2,500 is due in 30 days. That way you aren't started in a scary way. You get things in place, you get your program launched. I've had clients get their program and get money in 30 days. You can do it. You don't have to do it, but it is a great urgency piece to get things moving right away. And you have all of the resources in place to make it happen. Again, if you decide you don't want to commit to a year-long program and you just want to get started, I do have my downsell low ticket offer, which is still $2,500 to get started, but there's no additional payments. It's if you want to do it on yourself and you figure, all right, Christy, you give me the resources, I'll make it happen. You can be in the academy and you have access to everything. You just don't have the custom support from me. You don't have the guaranteed, you don't have the revenue milestones, payments to make, but you also don't have me supporting you to get to your revenue milestones. So you basically join today, no questions asked, 30 days, you say like, Christy, I don't want to continue, and it's all good. And you still keep the resources and access to everything. But maybe you're not sure which one you want. It's okay. I created an option for you to just put down a $100 deposit. We'll have a call and we'll put you into the right option. All you have to do is go to christy.store and you'll be able to see the page to sign up. And again, I have a fast action bonus. So if you decide in the next 72 hours, so from this recording, oh gosh, if you're watching the replay, it will be different, but I can see when you watch it. So 72 hours, I can see when you watch the replay. 72 hours when you watch it, you get back to me and say, yes, I'm in. You get back to me and even put your deposit down. You're going to get this extra bonus. And basically what it is, so that's not what it is. So this is the requirements for the bonus. This is what you get. So you get lifetime access to my prospect conversion machine club. So that's really cool. So you get plugged in, you have access to everything, no matter which option you pick, and you get lifetime access to the membership club. And so in this membership club, it is designed to help you build your lead generation process. We get into funnels, we get into lead magnets, we get into your sales conversations, we get into your indoctrination event, which would be a webinar like this, how you hold your sales call, how you convert people. Like we go through the process to take warm people into, or cold traffic into hot clients. And that is, there's a constant training that we will be having in that, that will include some great AI strategies. So if you want more details in the program, you simply have to go to epic-mastery.com. Make sure that dash is there. That's really important. If you go to Epic Mastery without the dash, you won't get to the right place. So go to epic-mastery.com. And again, if you want these slides, hang on, I got a gift. Don't go away. Just email me at hello@christyrufino.com. Put in the subject line 520 or 825 slides. I will give you a copy of the slides and the gift. So the gift, if you stay to the end, all you have to do is put living my purpose hashtag in the comments, or email me at the same email address, epic@christyrufino.com. Put in living my purpose audio, And I am going to give you this amazing audio affirmation. So a couple months ago, I hired a voiceover artist and I had her create an affirmation track for me. I knew I needed that. I realized that the only way for me to keep growing and meeting bigger goals is to make sure that I keep my mind expanding. So I created this awesome affirmation track. And I have that start every morning at 6:30. And that's what wakes me up. It is connected to my alarm on my phone, and I wake up to that wonderful affirmation track every single morning. It's super cool. So I'm going to give that to you for free just by putting that in the chat or emailing me if you're watching the replay, and I will send that link over to you. And I want to thank you. Thank you for staying with me to the end. It's a lot of information, a lot of talking. I am not the best speaker. However, I am so passionate about helping people have their profitable business with a high ticket offer, or at least with this high ticket business model that will make your job easier, allow you to help more people, and doing it in a way that will help you create a better legacy. I'm super passionate about that. And so as I continue to evolve, my communication is going to get better. My process here on these webinars are going to get better, but I do appreciate you hanging with me. And if you want to be a part of the program, just go to Christy.store, and I'd love to get you plugged into the next group. All right. Thanks, everybody. And I will see you hopefully in the Epic Mastery community. Bye-bye for now.